Well, just this week, the Alabama House approved a bill that would ban Glock switches in the state. A Glock switch is a tiny modification that converts handguns into fully automatic weapons. Tonight, I spoke to one of the lawmakers behind this bill. Shattered glass, bullet holes in windows. This was the aftermath of the Port City's deadly mass shooting on New Year's Eve in 2022. That night, one person died, 9 were injured. Police say 3 guns were recovered from the scene, 2 of them modified by a Glock switch.
To just see how many bullets these things spray in just a handful of seconds and spray in a really erratic, really dangerous manner.
A Glock switch is a tiny gadget that can be attached to a handgun, converting it into a fully automatic weapon. State Representative Philip Ensler of Montgomery has been working to ban Glock switches for the past 3 years. The Senate approved the bill in February and the House followed suit this week. Now, owning a Glock switch is already illegal federally, but this bill would allow state prosecutors to get involved in cases that are being charged by the feds.
It would be a Class C felony, and that's consistent with what federal law is. The goal of this is to try to get people to not possess these in the first place and recognize that we're taking it very seriously.
Last year, Representative Ensler introduced a Glock switch ban that passed the House but didn't get a vote in the Senate.
The last day, there were a whole bunch of bills they didn't get to. So this year, my strategy was, let's have a Senate sponsor. Let's get it through the Senate first, then bring it down to the House. And it's worked out really well so far.
You know, there are several people I've personally spoken to who have lost a loved one because of a Glock switch or have been caught in that crossfire. What message do you have for them moving forward?
That's the reason I've brought this bill and that I've fought so hard for it. And so many of my colleagues have raised this issue as well, because we know families that have lost loved ones. We know police officers that have been killed by guns with these devices. I know that a law is not going to bring him back, but if a law can save a life moving forward, then please do everything you can. And ultimately, that's what this is about. It's not a Democrat or Republican issue. It's a human issue.
If signed by the governor, the law would go into effect right away.
One of the amendments we made in the House was to make it effective immediately upon being signed. So sometimes laws won't go into effect for several months or until the fall, often the fall after that legislative session. But this is so important. It's a matter of life or death.
And the bill heads back to the Senate for a final concurrence before heading to Governor Ivey's desk. Now, the governor shared openly on social media that she plans to sign this bill into law.